Hey, and welcome to Unlearning Stress, the podcast where we break the rules and cycles that keep you overcommitted, overstretched, and just plain exhausted, and replace them with something better. No fluff, no guilt, just real talk, real solutions, and expert insights to help you shift the way you live. Whether you're here for the first time or you've been with me for a while, you're in the right place. I'm Mischelle O'Neill, your resident emotional wellness coach, and I'm here to help you unlearn the patterns that are wearing you down so you can live with more ease, clarity, and control. Let's get to it. There's this moment I think that every mom has. You know, your child's talking and you're right there, sort of. You're nodding, you're smiling, maybe even saying, uh-huh, mm-hmm. But your brain is actually juggling dinner, school papers, unread texts, and the thing you forgot to do yesterday. Then comes the line that actually cuts through everything. Mom, you're not listening to me. And they're right. You're in the room, but your presence is divided into fragments that you don't even remember giving away. And it hits you. Not because you're a bad mom, but because you're a depleted one. Not physically absent, but emotionally, you're overdrawn. This isn't just multitasking, which is really task switching, but that's another subject for another day. This is emotional overdrive. It's the cost of trying to be the parent you wish you had or live up to the amazing one that you had while performing through perfection, holding everything up, and still wondering, am I doing enough? Ooh, listen, you were not designed to parent from a state of tension. But when stress becomes your baseline, you stop accessing the parts of you that know how to lead with love without needing to prove it. And if we don't interrupt that cycle, here's what happens. You start parenting from performance. You start reacting from fear. You start losing your own voice in the name of doing it right. So today, I want to talk about what no one wants to say out loud. Why being present isn't enough when you're parenting from pressure. That invisible emotional patterns that create overdrive, and how to begin restoring your ability to lead with calm, conviction, and connection. Not by doing more, but by returning to what's always been there underneath the noise. Let's do this. Let me say what most mothers won't say out loud. Performance doesn't start in the boardroom. It starts in the kitchen. It's answering your child's question while mentally rewriting your work email. It's snapping because someone left dishes in the sink, not because of the dishes, but because you're holding the whole house in your chest. It's attending that school play with your body, but planning dinner in your head the entire time that you're sitting there. Is realizing you just said, I love you out of habit, not presence. And then feeling guilty because you do love them fiercely. But somewhere between the meetings and the meltdowns, the carpool and the caregiving, you stopped being with your children and started performing for them, keeping everything moving, making sure that they're okay, but losing touch with whether you are okay, that is. That's how performance creeps in, not in loud, dramatic moments, but in the quiet, daily override of your own emotional signals. And the worst part, you're praised for it. Oh, you're so strong. You always know what to do. I don't know how you manage it all. So you keep managing. You keep proving you're the one that they can depend on, even as you start forgetting what it feels like to to just be. Because somewhere along the way, we were taught that doing it right meant doing it quietly, perfectly, obediently. Be good. Don't talk back. God don't like ugly. Those weren't just manners, they were messages. And these messages became the foundation of emotional suppression. Don't feel too much. Don't react too fast. Don't need anything. So we grew up strong and capable, but also disconnected, emotionally disconnected. And now we're raising kids in a world that expects emotional presence while we're still working through our own emotional programming. And let me say something that may sting a little, but it needs to be said with love. You're not just responding to your child, you're responding to the version of yourself that had to perform to feel safe or seen. Ouch. So when your child needs softness, but you react with control, when they need curiosity, but you respond with correction, when you say, I'm just trying to do it right, it's worth asking yourself, who taught me what right looked like? Because here's what I know from walking with myself and with women like you. Every time we try to prove we're doing it right, we lose access to the part of us that knows how to love intuitively, not perform emotionally. And that's not your fault. That's what happens when emotional survival becomes the operating system. But it is your opportunity because if we can see it, we can shift it. I want to talk about what happens when the emotional suppression becomes second nature. At some point, it stops being something you choose and starts becoming how you move through life and the world. You're no longer reacting from presence, you're reacting from wiring, from patterns, from instinctual defense that's been running on autopilot for years. And you may not even see it until it shows up in your child, in their anxiety, in their people pleasing, in their anger, in their silence. I remember when my daughter was struggling with something deeply, and I mean struggling. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing I could do to fix it. I had tools, I had faith, I had perspective, but nothing was working. And the helplessness I felt, not just as a mother, but as a woman who's supposed to have the answer, was almost, it was unbearable. I found myself on the bathroom floor, unable to stop the flood of tears that were flowing down my face, hitting the tile floor. I wasn't just overwhelmed, I was short circuited. I knew what to pray, I knew what to say, but emotionally, I couldn't reach for any of it because I had hit the wall of my own disconnection. I had been functioning without presence for so long that even my faith felt mechanical in the moment. And that's what emotional disconnection cost you. Not just the ability to be calm or regulated, but the ability to hear your own voice when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. You start questioning whether you're failing because even your best efforts feel like it's not enough. So you do what strong women do. You try harder. You show up bigger. You reach for that control, but underneath it, it's not strength. It's just pulling through and hanging on. And that hanging on, did you know it has a tone? It sounds like irritability, like rushing, like snapping when no one deserves it. It moves fast, it's reactive, it's harsh, especially towards yourself, and it carries that shame, that guilt, that constant whisper. If I just did it better, maybe this wouldn't be happening. But I want to say something to every woman who's been parenting from that place. It's not about doing it better. It's about connecting to the part of you that's been shut down. Because when you lose that connection to yourself, you start parenting from performance, not peace. And your child feels it. Even if they can't name it, they know it. And maybe, just maybe, they're not mirroring your mistakes. They're mirroring your disconnection. Okay, so I want to dig just a little bit deeper. I want to offer something gentle but firm. You haven't lost your sense of what's right. You've just stopped trusting it. Not because you became less discerning, not because God stopped speaking, but because the noise of responsibility got louder than the quiet wisdom within you. Somewhere along the way, just making it took the lead. And making it is loud, it's urgent, it's wrapped in pressure and soaked in performance. And when you're in the space long enough, even your discernment starts feeling foreign. You second guess yourself. You look for answers outside of yourself. You try to parent based on what's expected, not what's aligned. And I need you to hear this. That inner knowing, the one that rises up when something feels off, the nudge you get before a meltdown, the quiet thought that says, pause, just listen, that's still intact. That's not self-help. That's not just gut instinct. That's how you were created, wired to lead your children with clarity, not just competency. You don't need to develop intuition. You need to recover trust in the wisdom you already carry. But the longer you've been managing emotions, smoothing things over, and staying two steps ahead of every crisis, the harder it is to hear. It's not that your intuition disappeared, it's that it's been buried under years of proving, pleasing, and performing. And the good news, you can clear the noise. You can come back home to it, not in one sweeping revelation, but in daily, rounded return. Return to the present moment. Return to what you know is true, even when it's uncomfortable. Return to the kind of parenting that isn't just reactive, but attuned. When you stop parenting from tension and start responding from truth, everything shifts. You listen differently. You correct with love, not fear. You slow down because peace, it's not a reward. It's your compass. So question, what would parenting look like if you responded from truth instead of tension? Take a breath. There's no right answer, just honesty. So what does it mean to come back to yourself in real time? Breathe. It's not about fixing anything right now. It's just about noticing with honesty, with compassion, with the courage to look inward without shame. Now, this time, it's for you. If you have a journal nearby, I want you to grab it. If not, just close your eyes and hold these questions gently. The first one, When was the last time you felt proud of how you connected? Not what you did, but how you connected. Not the dinner you made, not the calendar you managed, but the moment you were fully present and your child felt it. Maybe it was a conversation in the car or a hug that just kept going, that held on. Or the time you didn't jump in there just to fix it. You just stayed. Number 2, where are you still trying to earn love through over-functioning? What roles are you playing so well that you've started believing that they're who you are? Is it that you're the strong one? Or that you have that power to fix everything, the fixer, the one who never drops the ball, even when it's crushing you? Just name it. No judgment, just awareness. And the third one, what would it feel like to let love lead, not performance? Take a deep breath and imagine that version of you where love is taking you on the most wonderful dance of your life. She's not doing more. She's doing differently, leading from presence, grounded in her truth, no longer proving, just being. You're not weak for needing this pause. You're wise for taking it. Because every time you choose presence over performance, you reclaim a part of yourself that was never lost, just buried under expectation. And that's where real parenting begins, not from a checklist, but from your wholeness. Let me say this. You're not failing. You've just been trying to parent through pressure, through noise, through inherited expectations. And no one ever taught you how to pause. But that pause is not some sort of reward, it's your lifeline. And that's what we're reclaiming together April 17th inside my free workshop. You know, the one, stress isn't the problem, it's the symptom. This isn't just about parenting, it's about presence, about recognizing the emotional patterns that keep you stuck in performance in every aspect of your life, not just parenting, and learning how to disrupt them with clarity and compassion. So if this conversation stirs something in you, if you're ready to move from quiet unraveling to deep restoration, join the wait list or send me a DM. I'm always here to talk through what you're navigating because you haven't lost your connection. You've just been holding your breath. Let this be the moment you exhale. I'll see you inside. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye. If this episode hits home, don't just push it aside. Lean into it. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And connect with me on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack, where we go even deeper. Links will be in the comments. And if you're ready to start unlearning the patterns that keep you stuck, keep listening because real change happens one choice at a time. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.